So the Modi government has released the Sankalp Patra, the election manifesto for the BJP for the 2024 election. Now, normally foreign policy issues are not a big vote determinant, but there are 4 pages dedicated to foreign policy in this manifesto. Joining us now is the Union External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar. Thank you very much, sir, for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. Can you explain to our viewers why so much of an emphasis in a political document, in a manifesto, an election manifesto, 4 pages on foreign policy? How has foreign policy changed under the Modi regime over the last 10 years?
First of all, Jaka, great pleasure to talk to you and wish you a happy new year to all your listeners as well. Now, why is there so much foreign policy in this Sankalp Patra this year? I would say because actually we are getting more and more globalized. Our contributions, our opportunities, our challenges vis-a-vis the world are growing. I think the people of India are taking much more interest in foreign policy. They also understand today their lives are affected by foreign policy. So let me give you a few examples. Take COVID. COVID came from outside. It impacted everybody's life. Vaccines for the COVID also came from outside in terms of its supply chain, but it required Indian talent here to make it and take it forward and supply it back to the world. So look at the oil, the Ukraine-Russia oil debate. It actually a foreign policy decision lowered the cost of petrol in everybody's petrol tank. So I can give you a whole set of examples. People are stuck outside. You, I, a student, a merchant shipping person, an air crew, a workman, a professional. We can all be stuck outside the country. But today there is Modi ki guarantee that we will look after you, we are there for you. So I think what is happening in the world is people understand the world is today coming into India. Even if you look today at employment, we see the fact that Apple came in is a reflection of how much political trust can actually lead to manufacturing and employment generation. Now, this manifesto which we have just released, it has a number of other areas where we have the possibility of becoming a semiconductor hub, a space hub, defense hub. So I think that sense is very strong in the country, which is why there is actually so much in the manifesto. Also, I would say our civilizational cultural self-awareness, that in the last decade, definitely last 5 years, we have done many things. We are today ready to engage the world as a civilizational power, and that too is something which we have dilated upon at great length.
So, a couple of the points that are made in the Sankalp Patra. One is about, redoubling efforts for a permanent seat at the United Nations Security Council, then adopting a common definition and a global consensus to fight terrorism, the Comprehensive Convention on International Terrorism, so on. Aren't these things that we've been talking about for a very long time? So how come these have not been achieved yet?
Well, look, there are 2 aspects to it. One, certain objectives are big, difficult, challenging, may not necessarily be done in one term. So you could have been talking about it, but you have to persevere. UN reform is such a big objective, the Security Council membership, that everybody knows that it's very uphill. You got to make a huge effort. But when you say we are talking about, there's a big difference. The BJP is a party and Modi Sarkar is a government. When we say things in the manifesto, we mean it. I mean, we are really a party where what you see is what you get. I mean, look at our record. I mean, this manifesto, by the way, is a lot about our record as well. We said we'd do 370. We did it. We said we'd do CAA. We did it. We said we'd do triple talaq. We did it. We said we will provide for the citizenry, for the poor and people below the poverty line. We did it. So we mean it. We are reiterating it in some cases. We are expanding it in some cases. We are bringing in new ideas. So it's a mix of all of this.
Okay. You did mention in your earlier answer about the wars that the world is currently facing. We're already beset with two wars: Russia, Ukraine, and Israel, Hamas, and now it seems like we're on the precipice of possibly a third war between Iran and Israel. What is your best understanding of what is the situation there, and should we be worried that we're looking at a wider Middle East war now?
Well, look, I think we should be concerned. We have publicly expressed that, officially expressed that today. We should be concerned at the escalation. What happened yesterday night was a deeply worrying step. But the point is that today we have to be prepared for stormy seas, you can say. That so many conflicts going on in the world, so much polarization, so much tension, challenges on our border. How do we respond to what's happening in the Indo-Pacific? How do you deal with weaponization of technology, of trade? So the point we are also making is, look, this is an uncertain, turbulent, unpredictable world. You need a safe and experienced set of hands on the tiller of the ship that is India. That is the way we will sail through this. We are very confident because we know the people of India today have, as we saw during COVID, as we've seen in other challenges, people are becoming much more confident about their own capabilities when they are provided leadership and vision by somebody like Narendra Modi. But that's why we are seeking a big majority, because a big majority means a strong government. A strong government led by a strong prime minister is what this country needs at a time when the world is going to get much more difficult.
So how does that square off with what the opposition has been saying, and sections of the Western press are also saying that the stronger the leader, the more there seems to be a democratic backslide in India and that institutions are getting captured? In fact, even in this election campaign, the opposition saying this is about democracy being at stake. Is democracy at stake?
Well, let's put it this way. If the opposition wants to make the case that their greatest asset is weak leadership, they're welcome to make that case. The people of India will decide whether this country wants a strong leadership or a weak leadership. If the opposition wants to make the case that actually the more anarchy that there is, the worse the governance is, all this justified in the name that this is freedom, they're welcome to present that vision. We are presenting a vision of good governance, we are presenting a vision of technology advancement, we are presenting a vision of delivering on the ground, including digitally enabled delivery. We are presenting a vision where country is thinking big. This is a 25-year roadmap that we are putting out. We are just look at that manifesto which we have released today. We are talking semiconductors, we are talking electric vehicles, we are talking battery storage, we are talking of you want the youth of India to be prepared for the sunrise industry opportunities. You don't want them to look backwards. You want manufacturing to grow. Whereas we have the opposition which says, that we are incapable of manufacturing. If you don't have manufacturing, how will you build technology? So I think we offer a confident but practical vision for going forward. I think we offer a 10-year record. I think we offer actually the reality of a prime minister who's led this nation through the biggest challenge we faced in 100 years, the COVID. Now, if some parts of the opposition and their dear friends outside the country who are concerned about their political prospects, which clearly are not good, want to express concern, they're welcome to it. But this jugalbandi of what you see inside and the forces outside, I think people will figure out what this jugalbandi is about.
I do want to ask you, one of the issues that came up recently, and you sort of articulated it, and of course it's up to the people to decide, the Kachche TV issue. And again, the opposition's contention is these are well settled, this is a 50-year-old issue, people in Tamil Nadu are not worried about this. Why are you digging up well settled issues just to score a few domestic political points? How would you respond to that?
Well, Zaka, and I really have to end with this question.
Sure.
Look, I don't think this is so much an issue of well settled issue and why are you raking it up. This is an issue of a political party which has continuously told untruths for 50 years about its role on this matter, and that is the DMK. And their accomplice in this matter is the Congress party. Together, they actually did the 74 agreement, assured the parliament in 74 that, by the way, fishermen's rights are protected, and then in 76 sold out the fishermen's rights. And then the DMK has the nerve to say, oh, we have nothing to do with this, this is all done by the central government without even asking us, and we are totally opposed to it. Now, I think people of Tamil Nadu are entitled to know the truth because they are going to vote. So, they got to know, am I voting for a party which actually is the champion that it is claiming to be, or am I actually voting for the champion of doublespeak? And I think what the documents show is they are voting for the champion of doublespeak if they are actually going to vote that way. So, it is important today to bring out the truth. So, I put it to you, this is not a foreign policy versus domestic policy issue. This is about if the DMK says that their chief minister did not have that meeting and did not say those things, let them say so. Let them say they had no role in 1974 and that chief minister was not informed. Let them say so. But they don't say that. So, this is a matter of the truth coming out. Truth hurts, especially to those who made it their livelihood to conceal it.
All right, Dr. Jaishankar, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for joining us here on CNN News 18 with your thoughts on the BJP's Sankalp Patra
Pleasure as always.
for 2024. Thank you. All right, we'll take a quick break here on that note, but news and updates continue right on the other side of the screen.